Hello, judges. My name is Karan Samtani. I'm a senior at Livermore High, and I run the Livermore High chapter of NGN.
My name's Rohan Samtani. I'm a freshman at Livermore High, and I'm the head of marketing.
My name is Michael Francisconi. I'm a senior at Livermore High, and I'm our operations officer.
And today we're going to be presenting to you guys Educard. Our slogan is a letter for the better. This is a STEM solution to address goal number 7 of NGN, which is to guarantee a quality education to people of all ages. Judges would like you to take on the role of investors.
In my freshman year, as part of my high school art requirement, I chose to take ceramics. On the very first day of class, my teacher drew a giant empty thermometer on the whiteboard. Above it, he put the number 500. "This is how much money I need to buy materials," he said. "Without it, we cannot run the class." Teachers across the country face chronic funding shortages for buying class supplies. When we conducted a school-wide survey, we found that over 50% of teachers do not receive enough funding to buy class materials, or necessary class materials, while 40% usually do. A further 20% do not receive funding to buy non-essential class materials, which are materials that help enrich the classroom experience. Those most impacted by these shortages are art teachers, where class materials are several times more expensive than other classes. These shortages mean that teachers have to spend their own money on school supplies, or they have to rely heavily on donations from students. In the same survey, we found that over 50% of teachers spend over $150 of their own money on school supplies every year. Not only does this place an unnecessary stress and burden on teachers, but when donations fall short, teachers cannot effectively run their class or do not get the best possible education, or students do not get the best possible education. In short, funding shortages put an extra burden on teachers, create a shortage of class materials, which then leads to a decrease in the quality of education.
What is our solution to this? We created Educard, where we create high-quality cards made from student artworks sourced from underfunded schools. We later sell them to the public and then return these profits back to the underfunded schools. Why cards, you might ask? The card business is still a thriving and profitable business, as in the United States alone, people buy 6.5 billion cards annually, with 1.3 billion during the holiday season. Coronavirus has also temporarily increased the value of the greeting card market, as there's a lack of human interaction and people tend to buy more physical cards. The process of creating these cards starts with emailing underfunded schools to find artwork that students are willing to donate. We later create these quality cards through local businesses also supporting them. Finally, we market them on our TikTok and Instagram social media accounts and sell them on our online e-commerce website. Finally, we return the profits back to these underfunded schools. These drawings were given to me by my old teacher, who stressed the message similar to our organization's one. Those include being spirited, creative, and positive. As shown in these pictures, these satisfy all the requirements and best of all, are personal and unique to the students. In the future, we hope to source artwork from different levels of education, also diversifying the range of artwork we receive in print. Due to coronavirus, in-person retail has been unsafe and unreliable for the general public. This is why we plan on selling the cards online through our e-commerce online website. E-commerce allows us to maximize our profits and is a much more safer and viable option in this time. I contacted a local company called Beta Printing, where I personally negotiated a deal that would fit our budget with these cards. Unfortunately, due to a law that deters the student body from donating educational materials back to our school, we are unable to start selling these cards online, but we are backed up by many reputable teachers and the Rotary Club of Livermore. This is a preview of our website. I just want to reiterate that after paying investors, all profits will go directly back to the schools. We're selling tangible goods to the general public, therefore allowing everyone to donate while still receiving something in return. These cards appeal to the emotional value of the students while still benefiting them because we're donating back to their underfunded schools.
Our financial report will go over some projections, costs, and marketing strategies that we'll employ over the next couple of years. As seen by this diagram, we plan to donate almost $8,000 by our 5th year in business. What we're asking for $10,000 in seed funding. Currently, we received a $300 endorsement from the Livermore Rotary Club. These will help cover our costs. The bulk of our costs come in the form of our cards, which is around $1.50 per card. This includes shipping as well. This is a negotiated price by my brother from from Beta Printing. The next biggest cost is our marketing, which comes in at around $75 a month. This includes local fundraising initiatives and Instagram and Facebook ads. Lastly, our website, which comes in at around $30 a month, will comprise of upkeep costs, aesthetics, and updates. This will appeal to the consumers in a timely manner. Our marketing strategy revolves heavily around our target audience. When we started our Instagram account, we noticed that around the age group of 18 to 25 years of age is the biggest portion of our consumers. The next piece of data that's important to realize here comes from the Greeting Card Association of the United States. We noticed that around 80% of people buying the cards are actually female. Our actual marketing strategy revolves around a two-pronged system. First, we started on a local level, posting flyers on our school website, contacting schools around our district, and working with local businesses like Beta Printing. On a regional level, we want to use social media to market these cards. And we also want to use word of mouth to go and contact close by towns. It's important to realize who our competitors are when we go and enter into a market like this. The main brands are Hallmark, Quilling Card, and American Greeting. As seen by this comps analysis on the right side of your screen, the profit margins range from 7 to 12%. We can expect similar returns. What differentiates us from these big companies is that, first of all, we're nonprofit. We donate everything. The next thing is we use local businesses to print, which stimulates local economies. Thirdly, we don't have to pay artists for our cards, which helps us run a leaner operation, reducing our price of our cards while still keeping our profit margins higher. We sell for around $4 per card, whereas these companies sell for around $5 and $11 per card. Here are some financial projections in the next years. As seen, in our first year, we want to sell around 3,600 cards. This is derived from our experience with e-commerce as a collective group, and we noticed that around 3% conversion rate to sales for every 1,000 people influenced. So that would work out to around 300 people per month or 3,600 people per year. When we sell them for $4 a pop, we will expect to receive $14,000 in revenue our first year, or $7,000 in profit after subtracting our costs. And we can expect, after paying our investors 30% equity in our company, around $5,000 our first year, or $7,000 our last year. And this means that we scale our marketing by 10% a year just to appeal to more people. Our timeline for what we've done so far is that we started with working on our website, Instagram, and fundraising initiatives. Then we received our from our Livermore Rotary Club, a $300 endorsement. And then we also began testing engagement with teachers using local surveys and our Instagram page to appeal to consumers. In the future, we hope to receive the seed money and begin running our ad campaigns and launch our online store, which we weren't able to do due to that law. Lastly, we want to scale our marketing campaigns and also start making sales on our online web store.
Our initial project is focused on a local level. However, as we go into the future, we plan to expand to help more of those in need. In the next 5 years, we hope to increase our sales 50% while building our brand image. While in the next 10 years, we hope to expand to a national level and partner with retailers across the US.
Over the next 5 years, we want to establish stable connections with schools in California. We also want to host art competitions where students have the chance to compete to put their arts on the cards. These art competitions will create an ecosystem to incentivize the students further, as our artwork will be printed on our cards. In 10 years, we want to begin to expand internationally and have a national presence. We also want to make these art competitions global instead of regional and nationally.
Help fund these things, we need to complete our second round of funding in the next 5 years, or our Series B funding. In the next 10 years, we want to use that funding to expand further around the globe. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. This has been Educard, a letter for the better, and we'll open up the floor to questions now.
Let's see, I'll go. Thank you for that. I'm trying to think through the user's experience of this. Is it typical that they would go to a school they wish to support and pick from art from that source, or are you seeing this as more of agnostic to where the art was produced?
Yeah, so I think on our website, what we planned on putting on it is where like the origins of that art came from, right? So initially we only have Livermore schools because that's where we're from. So that would be like a specific elementary school, and wherever the user wanted to put their money in, they could, and they could purchase it from that school. And the idea is wherever that school is and whoever made that art from whichever school, that money would go back to that school.
Thank you. And just one follow on related to the cost of goods sold. So you listed it at $1.50, but what seemed to be missing to me is the cost, the processing cost of actually stuffing and addressing and shipping. And what are your thoughts there?
Okay, I think actually what we wanted to do is, since we are a smaller company initially, we are able to just package it in like an envelope and sell it and send it out with like a stamp on it. So that really reduces the amount of packaging costs there are. It's just a stamp in an envelope, and then we just ship that out.
And what do you think the average number of cards per order would be?
So the average number of cards per order, we wanted to sell around 300 cards per month given our marketing budget. Does that make sense?
If I order a card, do I order a quantity one or do I order a 10-pack?
Oh, okay, sorry. So Beta Printing gave us a deal where we ordered around 100 cards, and that would be the reduced price of $1.50. Not $1.50, sorry, $1 per card. And the 50 cents comes in the form of our shipping.
That's on the production side, but from the customer side, they don't want 100 cards. So how many will they order? Do they order one at a time or 10 at a time?
Yeah, so that's around one at a time to two at a time. That was the average amount a consumer would buy. And this was from the Greeting Card Association.
Got it. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Sorry. What do you think is your core competence moving forward? And what, you know, I know you talked about 4 differentiators in your slide, including, you know, supporting local communities and all that. But ultimately, your consumer is going to buy things for social cause. But what's your core competence against the social cause can be thrown in by someone else too, need not be one of those big guys, but let's say someone else who starts that. Being this team, what do you think is like something that'll be unique and core competence wise you want to be excelling at?
Yeah, for sure. So I think what differentiates us even further than that is that we are really, really local, right? We really want to support schools that need our help. And we want each of the students to be personally impacted by it, right? So we want the students to see that, and it's really the emotional value of that differentiates us, because it's the students creating that art, and then we sell that art, and the students see how those profits help the school out and their own schools out. And I think that really differentiates us to anybody else.
So a follow-up to that, does it mean when you expand globally, you will still be localized in individual communities and be present everywhere? That's your definition of global, versus trying to crossbreed this as a brand that is really globally visible and available? I mean, the answer you gave me suggests that it can only work at a local level, but then you also mentioned you want to go global. So I'm trying to relate it to how these two things come together.
Yeah, so in the future, when we expand globally, what we're hoping for is to connect different communities together. So it's not initially it'll be in a local level, and in that standpoint it'll be local. But when we expand globally, what we really want to happen is bridge that gap between cultures and bridge that gap between people. And that'll help connect people together from all the way across the world. And I know that my initial answer said it was on a local level, but I think helping a community somewhere across the world is more personalized in a way, where you can see the students, like the students can see who's giving them the money. I think that's important to know.
Okay.
So
starting at the local level, and little by little, they let themselves known throughout the internet globally. And this is the best way to connect with people even from outside the country who can believe in what they want to do in their cause through the art, and donate money and help each other that way.
Yeah.
It's excellent. I like it.
Thank you.